Okay, gents, just want to have a word with you about your developed designs. I've been trying to mark some of your work and your developed designs, initial designs, concepts, and final, and not on your final PowerPoint, which makes it very hard for me to give feedback. What I'm going to do is give some general feedback on that work so you can see the type of work you're meant to be producing, and hopefully I can give you a few pointers in regards to things you may have done or may not have done. Let's kick off then with this page, which you've probably seen before. I see these as being concept designs, so a series of shapes really, and different ideas on what your final product will look like. This, of course, needs feedback from your user. It's really, really important. And the way I suggest you do that is you draw this on A3, and then you get a piece of tracing paper and you put it over the top. And then you ask your client to feedback on each one of the shapes and other things as well, maybe the color that they would prefer and so forth. Okay, so this is the sort of thing, shape with a few buttons, maybe a 7-segment, maybe an LCD, whatever components you're going to have on your final product, that's what you should be including in these drawings. Great, so they're your concepts. The next bit is for those boys that want top marks. I totally appreciate some of you won't mind losing a few marks, and so don't bother with this page. But this is the initial designs, and so I've not gone through this. It's really, we're just condensing those concepts into maybe 6 different designs which have a bit more information. For example, we've got a bit of shadow on here. We may have a little bit of annotation in regards to what each component does, or what each component or how it functions. Maybe materials, maybe also dimensions. Okay, so a bit more information so we can get an idea of what the final product would look like. Maybe pros and cons as well. Why, for example, a 7-segment wouldn't exactly go well on a curved face, and therefore that particular idea may be discounted. Of course, what you need, feedback from your client. Get a piece of trace, put it over the top, get feedback on each one of the different ideas. Great. So as we move on from here, we have our developed designs. These are initial. We've got our developed designs. I've suggested 2 developed designs. Those boys that are after top marks will probably do 3. Okay, but this is what I really want to talk through more than anything. What I'm after is a nice 3D picture in the middle showing the different materials. For example, the wood might have a slight grain in it. The acrylic would have a thickness to it. How is that going to be connected to one another? Oh, I see, we've got some screws. We've got very clear 7-segment displays. What exactly is this? Oh, I see, we've got some annotation saying it's a vinyl sticker. Yeah, maybe cut out on the sticker machine. So it's pretty easy to identify each of the processes which is going to be involved in manufacturing that product. I say easy, of course, you want to make it even easier on each one of those. It'd be really good to have some sort of elevation, cross section, almost like they've cut it in half, showing where your different components are going to be. That will be, for example, those switches. How are they going to be located in there? Whereabouts is that circuit board going to go? How is that circuit board going to be fitted in place? I've got here some PCB pillars. Whereabouts is a battery in regards to that product? Okay, here we can see we've got a very clear diagram of a screw going through the acrylic going into the timber. The screw's a little bit large, to be honest with you. PCB pillar here. We've got the butt joints of the timber down here, and I can see now that I've got a bottom base bit that these 2 bits are screwed into, or maybe just glued into, I don't know. And we've got a speaker in here as well. So what I'm after is lots of information explaining that particular drawing. So the concepts really, to be honest, aren't that different from the final design. We've got a couple of pictures explaining 2 different ideas, 3 if you're absolutely looking for top marks, and then what we're going to get is we're going to get feedback on those from your user. This is when we go on to the final design. I've suggested the next page should be a modeling page, a very quick modeling page of you folding up some paper or card, making a very rough model of your final product, which shows the shape of your final product. The best boys will get pictures of that with their user feeding back on maybe 1 or 2 different designs, which are quite similar, but maybe just a little bit different, and getting the feedback from their user in regards to which they prefer. Be really good to get your circuit board inside that. Be really good to draw on the different components like I did in class. And so you've got your modeling page, and then you've got your final design. Your final design will be, again, like this, just detailing the final decisions that you've made. Okay, so that's really the graphics that we've been completing over the last probably 5 or so weeks, and what I'm expecting of you. Not many of you have uploaded this so far, so hopefully this has been useful in allowing you to understand exactly what's necessary. All right,